When you think of politics, what comes into your mind? Houses of Lords, Gordon Brown, the government, Politics decides how much VAT you pay on your training.
It decides what age you can drink.
Politics affects the buses and train times.
It prevents songs with rude words from getting on the radio.
Politics affects what networks are available for your mobile.
Politics affects you.
Hello, we're in the centre of Huddersfield and we're going to ask a few people about the place in which they live.
I reckon Huddersfield.
Maybe Halifax?
Batley.
Dewsbury. I'll be struggling there. Dewsbury.
Cleckheaton.
Cleckheaton.
Oh, a mixture of people.
Huddersfield, and then like there's Dewsbury and Batley and Etmond Way.
Marsden, right out to there, isn't there?
I don't know.
Dewsbury.
Greenwood Park, Deaton.
Yes, there's quite a lot.
What else?
I don't know anymore, actually.
No idea.
Don't know.
No idea.
Kirklees is divided into 7 localities.
These are Batley,
Huddersfield, north and south.
Spen Valley, the Home and Colne Valleys.
Dewsbury and Dearne Valley.
$10,000.
I have no idea. I really don't.
Oh, let me see. I've no idea.
The population of the Kirklees area. That really would. I'd be grabbing a figure out of the air.
I have absolutely no idea how much you do.
I wouldn't even guess.
Maybe 500,000 or 600,000.
30,000.
Is there more than 200?
No.
Kirklees actually has a population of just under 400,000.
that's about the same size as a small country like Malta.
Marchington. I'm one of the councillors for the Goke Ward and I'm also a member of the Liberal Democrat group on the council.
My name's Councillor Jim Dodds. I'm Deputy Leader at Kirklees Council and I'm Ward Councillor for the Denby Dale Ward.
My name's Kath Harris and since last May I've been one of the councillors for Ashbrow Ward in North Huddersfield.
Very greatly, and that's why I really like the job, because there is such variety. But as a cabinet member I normally leave the house at 7:30 in the morning and I get back in perhaps 7:30 at night, and I've either had meetings, visited schools or had discussions with various organisations about different aspects of the requirement of children and young people's services.
For me, it could vary from all sorts of things. It might, if you take today, for instance, start with a phone call from a distressed constituent fairly early this morning, followed by a long meeting to do with financial stuff within our area. Then, in fact, I've been doing other things which I do as a school governor, but I haven't yet got round to the mail, the emails, and any other phone calls to answer. And there's always paperwork to read ready for things that are coming.
Well, the council is there to represent local people's interests, to make decisions on behalf of local communities and to try and improve people's lives, try and make things better. Helping people, I really do want to try and make the world a better place, and in particular the community that I represent. Love living where I am, I think it's brilliant, and it's great to be able to help people out there and try and make things better.
I actually retired from work and I was playing golf. I got bored and somebody said, well, why don't you try for local government, put something back into the community you live in? So that's what I did.
You can have an influence over the decisions that affect your life. So if it might be the schools that you're going to, or what you want to happen with the roads, or if there's issues about policing in your neighbourhood, or it might be a park you want to improve, and voting and selecting people who represent your interests can affect the decisions that are made.
It's vital to vote and have a democracy. You've just got to look around the world at the different areas where democracy is not top of the agenda and how oppressed the people are, because it's the few strong tyrants, if you like, that are ruling them, and that can't be right. Everybody should have a voice and everybody should be heard.
I kind of like it, actually.
It's an interesting sort of place.
I love it. It's better than Leeds.
Cold, very cold.
And I think the streets could be a bit cleaner.
It's a really nice place to live, really nice people.
Nightlife's good.
Yeah.
The university's good.
Yeah.
Being a student's good.
I like it. I think
Good.
it's excellent.
Very nice. Hills.
Hills.
Nice town. Swimming, walking.
Yeah, lots of walking.
Well, they've got skate park. They've got like pond, everything else, all stuff like that.
Reading.
Playing out.
Playing out. Parks.
Climbing trees.
I think there's nearly everything to do. Of course, we've got the wonderful stadium for anybody sporty. We've got the films. Then there's lots of places to eat and drink and meet.
Quite a few good bars and restaurants.
Everything. You can go swimming, shopping, cinemas.
For people that are wanting to go walking, there's various societies, there's theatre groups.
The usual stuff, concerts at the concert hall, art exhibitions, youth events, I mean, you name it, it's all here.
Rubbish, honestly. There's not much to do and it's for people. I don't know.
Go to the cinema.
Yeah.
Going to listen to music.
Gigs.
Dancing.
Good dancing.
Parties.
Parties, yeah, parties is good.
They provide streetlights and decorations for times like Christmas and Diwali. Things to do in the school holidays, nurseries and play schemes. Housing. Right, we're gathered today here because we've basically been given some money to spend on improving our school. And what we're basically looking from the school council here a lot is suggestions on what we need to spend the money on most. So, have any of you got any suggestions?
Well, I was thinking free sweets at break time. It'd keep the kids happy, which is what we want, and then they'll want to learn.
What about laptops? They'd be good for everyone, in my opinion.
What about toilets, you know? We need them.
You're always going on about toilets.
Sorry.
We don't care about toilets.
What about better school dinners? We should have like fries, burgers and cokes for
It needs to be
everyone.
healthy.
I mean, that would be really good.
Toilets,
No.
come on.
I'm not really feeling that idea. We need to improve
Well,
people's education.
They're in a real bad state, and you know.
What about how the school looks from the outside?
Toilets, you
What
know.
are toilets going to do?
Well,
Like,
we all
it's-
need them.
They're not
don't
going to
we?
improve
Yeah.
people's education, and that's what we need to do.
I think we need to look at the bigger
as you just
picture,
said, we need to concentrate on the education factor. So we need laptops. It saves on cutting trees.
We need
it
so much
helps the
money
environment.
And we need
And it
interesting
is the new
lessons.
century.
Better
How-
toilets, better education system. That's
I
what
don't
I think.
understand. I don't
It's not
understand
going to make
how
a better
toilets-
education
Just me.
system.
I-
Just
I'm-
scrap the
I'm
idea
not-
now because it's not going to work.
Listen, I think
you might
it
as well
works
just leave
really
it now.
well. More cleaner toilets.
Just forget about that idea because we're not doing
I'm
it.
not, I don't think we let this one down.
Toilets.
We need them
There's
in
not
the road.
education. The government gives
It's
it.
off.
Even
It's not-
sports
it's not
facilities
gonna-
is better than toilets.
No,
Because
we
at
need
least
toilets.
children
Every
must have
toilet.
Scrap the idea of toilets.
Most all children will be
Listen,
more healthy and
I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
That's right, just walk away
Yeah.
like you always do.
Yeah. Keep walking.
This isn't very easy, is it?
Looking at the budget in November, when we have, as we're the control and administration, we look at our proposals in November and we ask all the services to come up with their budget proposals. Once we're satisfied with that, we go to a thing called the Star Chamber, which is a 3-day event with all the political parties involved listening to the budget proposals. We then, all the different groups go away and they work out their own budget proposals, which we produced ours for this coming year at the beginning of this month, and that is public. Numerous decisions from investments in highways, investments in transport. The biggest one that I'm involved in is a project called Building Schools for the Future, where across the whole of Kirklees we're looking at the future of education, both secondary and primary. When we start the budget process, we haven't got a bottomless pit. We've only got a certain amount of money that we can look at, and we've got to make sure that that's divided as equally across all the services as possible. And we've got to make sure that the general public see the benefit of our budget decisions on things like emptying the bins, making sure the roads are correct, making sure they've got sufficient rural transport, which are all big issues. We also work with the police and the fire and the local hospital, the PCT, to ensure that their budget reflects what we're trying to do with ours, and we work together as a team.
How can young people like us get involved?
Get involved with your school council, find out what that's about. Ask your local councillors to come along to your school council and see what they're doing, and ask what you could be doing to improve your area, or things you can be doing about the area where you live. Local area committees meet in the areas where people are, so the area that I represent is the Combe Valley, which covers all the villages from Slathwaite, Linthwaite, Marsden, Go.
I am George Lane. I am a member of UK Youth Parliament for Kirklees, and I represent all young people aged 11 to 18. Well, originally a few years ago when I was at first school, I was involved in their school council, just being involved at that small level, but then I've progressed through to my middle school, being the chair of the school council, going through that. And then from that, when I heard about the Youth Parliament, when it first started up a few years ago, I got involved then. Finally this year, I've been elected as member of the Youth Parliament to represent all of the young people. The campaigns last year I was involved in were about environmental issues and also about anti-bullying. The Green Day is a day where a school will go out of uniform for that one day and wear all green items and raise some money towards that. And then all that money will go towards an environmental project in school, whether that's buying recycling bins or planting a tree or anything like that. It's really just to raise the awareness of people that are recycling rather than chucking it away. Well, really, the UK Youth Parliament is it's a national organisation. It's not just in Kirklees, it's all across the UK. And we aim to just give a voice to all young people to make sure that their views are being heard and taken seriously by adults. I think it's a really good idea to get involved in this local democracy because young people do have a great opinion, and although some adults think that they can make the decisions for us, without people like myself, we can't actually get the true voices of young people heard. So I think a really good reason for people getting their voice heard is that it's their life, it's their money which is being spent on things. I think it's really good for them to have a say and to join in with UK Youth Parliament or the Youth Council.